Good evening, Eastern Oregon. Keeping it clear with Cody Bowen. We are live and in the flesh. This is brought to you by Loveland Safe Ride. So Kevin Loveland Funeral, he started this program, and it's a fantastic program. They provide rides for people in Union County on major event days. There's a lot of local businesses involved. It's just one of those things where it's probably saved quite a few lives. Loveland's Safe Ride. This show is live and it's interactive, so feel free to ask questions. It's Cody and I. We're going to have a special guest on today, and we are actually in studio. Let me bring on Cody. Cody, what's up?
Here I am.
Here we go.
It's good to see you.
We've never done it like this, where
No.
we can actually look at each other.
It's weird.
I know.
I'm not looking at the camera. I'm not looking at that.
It's different, huh? It's way different.
Feels good.
So like I said before, people watching, this is a live interactive show, and it's all about transparency. So if you have questions, put them in there, and I'm going to ask him. I'll even ask him the hard ones. I don't have a problem with that, and I don't think he has a problem with that either. So
Not at all.
So let's just do a little check-in before we go to a break and bring on our guest from the corrections department. What's up? What's new?
I tell you what's new is the sunshine. The sunshine's nice.
It's so nice.
Yes, yeah. It feels good to get up in the morning and have the sunshine out and head to work and come home and it still be light. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, you can do a couple things after work. It's not like pitch black when you go and pitch black when you get home.
I would like to say I would get out and run after work, but that doesn't happen.
Yeah, no. If you see me running, you better run too. There's something wrong. Something's chasing me.
Yeah. We've got some good things going in the office. We had a gal just retired today. We have a gal back in corrections, deputy that is moving on to another area, a different stage in her life. So I've got some openings coming up. So yeah, things are moving.
I saw the post on social media hiring.
Yes.
Corrections.
Yep. Corrections deputy. Open that up. We'll take applications for as long as we can get them in there, and I believe it closes the end of April, if I'm not mistaken, the end of April. And yeah, looking for another full-time employee. Great benefits, great retirement, great package. We'll have one of those deputies in here in just a little bit to talk about some of that stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Let's talk about these real fast.
The mugs.
These are sweet.
Yeah. These are a gentleman, a retired law enforcement officer from the Salem area, started a laser engraving shop, and he approached me about doing our logo and fundraiser type stuff, and we established a relationship a couple years ago, and these are just a way to, show your support for Union County Sheriff's Office. We don't necessarily make a whole lot off of them, maybe a couple bucks a mug, but what that does go to is our cadet program and our reserve program to help funding for our volunteers. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So awesome. What retired officer is it?
What retired officer?
Yeah, do you know his name? Because I got a guy that's a retired cop in Salem that does Cerakoting for me. Might be the same guy.
His name is James Coleman.
No, this guy.
Salem Laser
This
Engraving.
guy's name. There is a retired sheriff's deputy in Salem, and he does Cerakoting out of his garage basically.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
I've had a couple guns Cerakoted.
Yeah, he does the laser engraving on pretty much anything you want it engraved. He can send it to him, and
so we're like supporting a retired law enforcement officer, and we're raising money for
absolutely
our cadet program.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you can stimulate the not just the economy but your profession.
Promote it, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Once again, this is live, so ask some questions. I see there's a bunch of people watching. Somebody's got to break the ice. Dana London just said he has one. He already got one.
Nice.
Thank
Thank you, Dana. Thank you. Well, I had the black ones. We've had the black ones for a couple months, a few months now down the road. Just haven't really talked about it too much, but the white ones just came in, so the white ones are new. Dana, if you don't have a white one.
The white ones are sexy.
Just saying.
That's probably why we put that one in front of you. We had to offset it a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Whatever.
All right, so before we bring the corrections officer on, I got a cop joke.
All right.
Who works in tandem with the grammar police?
who works in tandem with the grammar police. Boy, if my critics say my grammar sucks, so I have no idea.
Corrections officers.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, fitting, right?
Good one.
All right,
good
so for right now, we'll go to a break, and when we come back, we will have the corrections deputy, Talissa Baldovino. Did I say that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll talk about some of the stuff that's going on at the jail and the condition of the jail. We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back.
EO Live is your connection to Eastern Oregon. Get the latest and most relevant news in 2 minutes or less on our evening news broadcast. We cover Eastern Oregon's weather daily with Gabe, the EO Live weather kid, with an extended forecast every Friday. Watch Dodzy on EO Live Sports to get the latest sports information and interviews with local coaches, athletes, and more. See Brent and Dodzy goof and gaff with local guests on EO Live's morning talk show, AM Live on EOA. We're available across the board, including Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Fire, and of course, our very own website, eolive.tv. We even have our own Roku channel with 24/7 live stream EOA content. You can also listen to our shows on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and many other popular podcast apps. You can get everything all in one place with the EO Live app, available on Android, iOS, and the Amazon App Store. EO Live, your connection to Eastern Oregon.
Welcome back. We are joined by Corrections Deputy Talissa Baldovino. Cody and I decided, like in the beginning, like we were gonna try to pick a different branch, or we've done Chief Bell. We had who else have we had on? Dane. We had on the other school resource officer, Humphreys.
Yep.
And today we're gonna kind of focus on corrections. Talissa, introduce yourself. Like, where do you come from? Like,
Where do I come from?
Give us a quick synopsis.
I come from Southern Oregon, Medford to be specific. I went to high school in Lakeview, Oregon. Very small town, so I like the small town vibe. Got a running scholarship here at Eastern to run for Ben, and was here for 5 years. was a personal trainer for 6. And then in 2017, I got hired on with the sheriff's office. So I've been there for 4.5 years.
So a scholarship to come to EOU is what brought you to
Yep.
Eastern Oregon, and then you just decided this.
And then
home.
I've been here for
It's kind of hard to,
11 years.
It's kind of hard to get out.
Yeah, it is. I don't think I can leave now. I think I'm committed.
Yeah, I call it, even the people that do leave,
Yeah.
they come back.
They come back.
Man, they get sucked back in.
Yeah, it happens.
It's that small town, you know, like good people. It's hard to not like this place.
Mm-hmm.
So let's ask you this: what are some of your job duties? Like, what do you do?
I mean, there's a lot. I can't. We take in the individuals from the jail. We get them processed in. We get them changed out for their individual housing units. We make sure they get fed. We make sure they get medical attention. I mean, the list goes on. We take them to court. We make sure they're up to date on all their paperwork, everything like that. And just basic daily duties to make sure, everyone's safe in our facility.
Nice. So, Eastern Oregon, remember, this is an interactive show. So if you have questions for her about anything that's going on or for Cody, pop them up. Somebody break the ice. There's a lot of people watching. Somebody break the ice here. I mean, where's Ridley at when we need him?
Don't invite
He's
that.
usually
Don't do that. Don't open that can.
He's usually one of the first ones to ask a question. So why law enforcement? What drew you to corrections and becoming a sheriff?
Honestly, it's always been a thought of mine to be in law enforcement. I thought for a long time, I wanted to be in the physical fitness world. I've been running my entire life. But once I found out they were hiring for reserves, I jumped right on it and was super stoked that I got hired and been sticking around. So
I'm laughing because of this question I just got.
Oh, no.
Jay Britton wants to know if there's still snow at the cabin.
That Jay Britton's my father-in-law.
I know
so
who it is.
Yeah. That's not kind of the questions we're looking for.
I mean, I guess we could. I gotta stay more in character, and not make her laugh.
Right?
So after your career at EOU, you physical trainer for 6 years.
Yep.
Are you still involved? Do you run still?
No. No.
None?
When college got done, I was like, you know what? I think I need a break. I mean, I've been running since my parents got me started since I was 2. I mean, I've been running pretty much my entire life. And so college got done and I was like, I think I need a break, just kind of recharge, and I haven't really started back up yet.
You were middle distance?
Yeah, I was a 2-time All-American in the 800.
2-time All-American?
Yes.
Well, how high did you finish?
I was 6th and 7th both
that's
years.
still.
Yeah.
So All-American is the top 8 in the country at the NAIA level, and that's I mean, that's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
What'd you get your degree in?
Psychology and health studies.
Oh, nice. As for career advancement, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Oh boy, I don't know. I mean, I'll still be in the jail. I don't go anywhere.
That's your
I've
place.
had a couple times, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll leave, and then I don't. I'm
ever
still
wanna,
here.
You don't ever want to be patrol. You want to be right there.
I had thought about it, but I think I'm good in the jail.
It's your home?
Yeah.
Do you have any challenges because you're
Small?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a legitimate question.
It is. Yeah. I was actually assaulted in the jail.
Really?
And I got him down on the ground and handled it.
Well,
so.
yeah, you're an athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably held your own.
Yeah, so I took care of it. My size, I don't think, is a factor in my mind, and my coworkers say the same.
So, wow, come on, bud. Yeah, there is a law against my white legs.
I told you.
We have some questions coming in. Jiminy Christmas, man, bud. I thought you were my homie. What percentage of the time is the jail at full capacity? And you guys can kind of team up.
Well, pre-COVID, it was at capacity all the time. There was the fact it was a revolving door. When we had to lower the numbers, if you will, as far as doing our best to mitigate the COVID issues, we lowered it down considerably to enable to do that. Some of the other jails across the state, it didn't affect them too bad, but the way that our jail is designed and set up, we don't have a lot of places where we can put individuals alone by themselves or to get them separated from others. So I think right now we're sitting around 75, 80% capacity. At times we'll have 32, 33, 34. We're usually sitting right about 27, I think, right now. And that's a comfortable spot for us where we're not having to, we can take people in. So
nice. Next question. This one's for you.
Oh boy.
This comes from Crystal LeGrand. Do you agree with Cody that we need a bigger facility? And can you explain why you think that it would be worth the investment?
I mean, our facility is pretty small. I know when I first started, it was in and out, in and out, in and out. There was just so much happening. I don't think too much bigger we need, but definitely a little bit bigger, 40, 50 maybe, somewhere in that range. The building is just old, we deal with what we can, but
yeah,
we make it work. It's a great place, there's nothing wrong with it, per se. So I think the only reason we'd need a new one is just to fill more beds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a couple years ago, when we were pre-COVID, the revolving door was really frustrating to me, because we matrix people out all the time, in order to take somebody in, we had to let somebody go. And that's hard, especially if you've been victimized in the community and you see that this person was just taken away by the police because they did something to you or your property, and then a couple hours later they're out on the street again. That's a hard pill to swallow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got another question. And you basically just answered this question. He says, are the individuals that are released, have they filled their full sentence?
Well, no. When we matrix somebody out, we basically take the lesser of two evils, if you will. Not saying that person's evil, but taking their matrix score as far as the crimes that they've committed, property crimes, person crimes, drug crimes, whatever that looks like. They have a score sheet that establishes them a matrix score. And then the person coming in, if that person's higher on the matrix level, then the person with the lower score obviously goes out. We have a lot of, next day arraignments where the judicial system decides whether or not they're released or whether or not, and that's pretty common in the state of Oregon, for our judicial system to release them the next day or, whenever they're in court the next day as far as arraignment goes. And releasing, hardened felons across the state. Our governor has released close to 1,500 people now in our state, and some of them locally here. So, it's an issue. Our judicial system's an issue for sure. Yeah.
All right. So next question, Christine Page, and I'll ask this, but let's not get too into this because we get this question every time. What's the plan for the homeless population in Union County?
Oh.
We get this question almost every show,
Yeah.
and it's just. Go ahead.
It's a unique situation. The plan is ever evolving. There isn't a hardcore plan in place. My thoughts are on it, and this might upset some people, but we really need to stop feeding the bear. We don't want to turn this into downtown Portland, and we don't want to pass out a bunch of handouts. There are a homeless group of folks that have showed up in our community that live that lifestyle. This is not people down on their luck. This is not people that were evicted from their homes. This is not people who have lost their jobs recently. They have made a choice to live this lifestyle. And when we enable that behavior, as callous as that sounds, we create more of a problem. And you've seen that with our warming shelter. You've seen that as a great idea. The thoughts behind that was keeping people warm, keeping them fed, and I 100% agree with that. But what it's done is it's enabled, it's fed the bear, and the bear continues to come back to the hand that feeds it. So we just need to keep a close eye on it, offer services to folks that we can, try and get those people employed, try and get them off of the streets, trying to find some housing, and keep working with that. Like I said, it's a choice. It's just like treatment. You're going to go if you want to go. You're going to get off the street if you want to get off the street. There is more than enough employment opportunities right here in Union County to employ any single person that wants to work. I know Northwood and Outdoors, they are constantly looking for people, and just like we are, the standards have been lowered as far as it's not hard to find a job. So that excuse doesn't really hold much water with me, but I won't go down that too much further.
Let's get back to her real
Yeah.
fast. Jeff Molnar says, Mom says
Oh, no.
Mom says
Hello, Mother.
You gotta say hi to you. Hi,
How are you? Hey.
Mom. Hi, Marilyn. Anyways, so let's just hold off on the Tori. Okay, let's ask this one real fast.
Okay.
Can you tell me if they're going to ease up on the parking tickets?
Oh, no.
This is coming from your daughter.
Is that my daughter? Yeah.
She's a city. The parking lady's a city lady.
Again, stop breaking the law.
Yeah, right? Move your car every 2 hours. Okay, so let's get back to the jail. We got some pictures, and while she's still here, I mean, she's part of the jail. Let's kind of go through these pictures and let's talk, because somebody made the comment, there's a lot wrong with it when we were talking about the jail. So let's take a look at these pictures and we'll just kind of talk about where they're at, and what's going on with the jail. Here's the first one.
Yeah, so this just kind of this is the main entrance to our facility. This is where people come and visit. And so the county has done a very good job at maintaining this building. And over the years, when we ask for, repairs and whatnot, the county does, and I say the commissioners and the commissioner's office, they do their absolute best to keep this building maintained, and they've done a good job. This isn't not a lack of maintenance or a lack of attention over the years. It's just flat getting old. Early 70s when this building was built, and that's the entryway. You can see there's a lot of water damage. There's exposed wires. There's lighting that has been put in place to make work. As you scroll through those, it's just that one right there. I put on there simply because that's
looks like it's from the 60s, dude.
The technology is from the 60s. That is on the right's the intercom system. On the left, what you see, those push button, that's our controls some of our doors. Not all of our doors, but some of our doors. And that right there, if we're talking about kicking the can down the road and putting Band-Aids on things, but that setup right there is close to $200,000 that we are going to have to replace, because safety-wise, it's not functioning. As far as being able to open the doors and keep deputies safe, to keep the inmates safe, the system's just failing. The intercom system, it's just stuff that over time that fails just due to wear and tear and use.
We'll keep on moving.
That's just
some water damage.
Yeah, so we had some pretty severe HVAC issues, if you will, as far as whether we were breathing fresh air or not there for a while, and then water leaks with adding on to these new AC units or whatever those are, stuff that comes along with it. This is let's just picture this as under your desk at work.
It's what it is, basically.
It's exactly what it is. This is where a deputy would sit at the front desk. That's the control panel right above it, and there is, maintenance has done their best to rewire everything and make things work, but there's a little bit of the 60s, there's a little bit of the 70s, there's a new floor from the 2000s, there's some woodworking from the 95. That's just the building itself in a nutshell. That's what it looks like. We've tried to cram things into spaces and make things work, and they've done a good job, and it works. It's just been it's outdated.
Yeah. So as of right now, that's on hold, right? Like we have that on hold.
What I've decided is what I really would like to see a new facility with our partners, with parole and probation, with LeGrand City, with dispatch, with our DA's office. I would like a new facility like that. Not I would like, but we need. What I've decided is that in our state of our nation right now, on a national level, on a local level, interest rates are through the roof. We're paying way too much for gas. Families are having a hard time at the grocery store. For me to ask for more money is pretty inappropriate, I believe, when we can make do with what we have right now and wait for better times. If our original funding source that I was leaning on to help with the jail and the new Justice Center fell through at the state level. our representative, and it didn't happen. So we lost that funding stream. So really that kind of made me step back and say, okay, the only other way to do this right now would be to ask for a bond, and I can't do that. With the school bonds going on, it's just inappropriate. I don't want to pay more taxes. So what I've asked is the group that we got together with, the McKinsey Corporation, the architects, the designers, the planners, I've asked them to come and take a look at our facility, take a look at the jail, where LeGrand Police Department is, where the county sheriff's office are at. We obviously in the same building, but I've asked them to come look at it and see if they can give us some ideas to maximize our space that we have right now. What can we do with this building that would be substantially more inexpensive, if you will, but get us to a place where we can maintain for a few more years. And so they're putting together something like that. They're going to come check out the jail. And then, to be honest with you, I don't know what we can and what we can't do. I've been told that the jail was originally a 3-story facility. There's been blueprints where it went out onto K, up the street towards the church. And I've been told that there has been assessments done on the facility, and it can't be brought up to code. The concrete, the infrastructure, it can't go up, it can't go out. So honestly, I think to be responsible and fiscal with our money, I need to know for sure, and I need the answers to see exactly what we can and what we can't do before I start saying, okay, we've done what we can here. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Talissa. I'll ask her a couple more questions, then we'll get her out of here, and then we'll go back to the pictures and the questions that are coming in. Talissa, a question for you. What's your favorite part of your job?
What's my favorite part?
Yeah.
Honestly, the people. I have had amazing coworkers. My lieutenant and my sergeant are great people, and I enjoy getting up and going to work, and that's a huge deal to me.
I'm sure that. So my grandfather was a federal Bureau of Prisons warden, and one of the things that he enjoyed the inmates as well. Like he really did. He said one of the things that he preached was, and I spent a lot of my young childhood with my grandparents, but it was all about mutual respect. Like if you're gonna walk it, walk it.
Yeah,
and
100%.
And you can't expect a human being to do something that you wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, so tell me a little bit of that about that for you.
Yeah, I mean, if they treat me with respect, I'll show them respect right back. I'm not there to, make their lives a living hell. I'm just there doing my job, and I tell them that, every time they come in, I'm just here to do my job. If you treat me with respect, I'll give it right back to you, and we can work, together and not have issues.
All right, last question. What's the biggest challenge of your job?
Biggest challenge?
Yeah, biggest challenge?
I don't know, that's a tough question.
It's got to be something.
No, I mean, there really isn't.
Every day it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any complaints really.
Not a complaint, just anything that would be like the biggest. One of the biggest challenges of my job is people following through. Like it's really tough dealing with high school kids. Like trying to get them on my show, like setting it up. Like they'll be like, okay, I'll be, and then 10 minutes before, oh, I can't make it. You know what I mean? So, do you have anything that is challenging for you like that?
Not at the moment that I can think of. No.
What about scheduling back there? What's the shift that you work?
Yeah, I guess night shift sometimes has its downfalls. I mean, we work 12-hour shifts.
Yeah.
That can be kind of brutal.
Yeah. What is it, like 10 to 10? Or?
7 to 7.
7 to 7. Wow.
So I guess that can take its burden. But we make it work. I mean, I've been there 4.5 years. I kind of have the routine down now, but sometimes it can be a challenge.
Nice. Okay, so Eastern Oregon, what's going to happen right now? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the relationship first. Just so you guys know, Union County and Union County sheriffs, they don't pay anything for this. This is not a paid thing. They're not paying to come on here. This is a show that I thought up, talked to Cody about, and we have a sponsor that pays for it, that pays us to do this, and that's Loveland Safe Ride. And I mean, that program's been, how long has it been going? 20 years?
least.
About 20 years. There's all kinds of local businesses, including like the car dealerships. They loan cars, and on big events, they give people rides home so they don't drive drunk. It's that simple. Like, and it's really an asset to this community. So if you have the means, to donate some money to Loveland Safe Ride, or just appreciate the fact that we have that here. It's awesome. When we come back, Cody and I are going to address some more of the issues at the jail. Talissa, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Coolio.
Welcome back, Eastern Oregon. Sheriff Cody Bowen, Dodsey. We're gonna just kind of take up where we left off. I wanted to get her out of here. She had to work. She has to work tonight, and Cody and I are gonna continue to address the questions that you guys have and look at some more pictures of the jail. Let's just jump in right where we left off. Sarah asks, why can't you use the old courthouse?
Wow. We've talked about the old courthouse. The biggest thing with the old courthouse is the destruction of it. The Joseph building itself, I was born in that building. It's been around for a long time when it was a hospital. I know there's a lot of other people that were born in that building.
That's where you were dropped on your head?
Yep, that's where I was first introduced to the ground. That's where it all started. Yeah, the Joseph building, actually, that layout, that piece of ground, that whole block is an ideal spot for us. We would be centrally located. We'd still be next to the courthouse. The problem with that is that it's going to be very, very expensive to dispose of that building. With the hazardous materials, that's the talk that's come up, is the overall just destruction and removal of that building. It's too far gone to upgrade or bring up to speed or whatnot. It cost prohibitive. Much cheaper to take down and rebuild. But if we could keep it close central there, that'd be a great spot for sure.
Nice. I should probably be careful with the jokes with what happened at the Oscars. So for those of you guys that don't know too, Cody and I, we've known each other for a long time. Like, it's not just me throwing jokes, we have a relationship and we've known each other for a long time. Crystal LeGrand has another question. Oh, actually I skipped over. Bruce, so if you had more space, does the governor have the ability to release them against your will anyway? So,
yeah. So she's not releasing them from our facility. These are Department of Justice inmates, Department of Corrections. These are inmates that have gone through our jail, gone through our local law enforcement vetting system, if you will. So they've committed crimes in our area, and gone through our judicial system. Maybe spent some time in our jail, but have been sentenced to longer longer stays in other facilities. So this is across the state. This isn't just affecting Eastern Oregon, just LeGrand, but these people are people, the one that I speak of that it upsets me the most, if you will, or I don't understand the most, was 3 years in on a 10-year sentence. So it's
30%.
Yeah, pretty frustrating. So yeah, it's not folks that she's releasing out of our jail. No, she has no control over our jail at all.
So for people that don't know, and I only know this because I watch like some shows, but it's about 85%, right? You serve if you have good time, roughly, in Oregon.
Depending on, it's up to the judge. Yeah.
And so we're talking about somebody doing 30% of their sentence.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's frustrating. And we have visiting judges. We have one judge right now that does the job here. We have another judge that's been disqualified from every criminal case. He can't hear anything here. So he's an elected judge, and he's over on the other side of the state working because he can't work on this side of the state. Whether that's district attorneys, whether that's defense attorneys, whether that's whoever that is, don't feel he's qualified to do the job anymore, and he's been disqualified. So what I'm getting at is that brings in visiting judges to our area that don't know or don't have the history. It's somebody that's coming in and they don't know this person that's in front of them.
Never seen them before.
Never seen them before. I mean, they can look at their paper and they can say, oh, well, you've done this, this, and this, but they can say, okay, well, I'm willing to give you a chance. Will you honor that? Well, if we have a judge that's in that place that can constantly see these folks and establish those relationships, he knows what's going to work and what's not going to work.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating with our judicial system locally. We need 2 acting judges that are actually working in our community, that are providing a service for our community. One is not enough, and
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
What's done for the inmates who are processing out of the jail, and what kind of resources do we offer them?
Yeah, so we actually, in the last budget cycle, I asked for a new position for a reentry position. So a reentry deputy, if you will, would provide packets, would get with inmates that are just about getting ready to get out, talk to them about housing, talk to them about any doctor's needs, talk to them about employment opportunities, show them where they could go as far as halfway houses or, anything on the outside. That program, I will tell you, well, I'll be honest with you, it fell flat on its face. People that are getting out of jail did not want anything to do with it. They did not use those services, period. To the point of, it's a grant position, and I told them, with talking to my Lieutenant Helter, we don't feel good about taking this money because the inmates are not capitalizing on this, and we're not going to continue the program. So there are stuff out there for them. We still will continue to provide options for on the outside and whatnot, but until that individual chooses to better themselves or to go look for employment, it's not working on our end.
Well, but I'm sure they have like some sort of resources in jail too. Like they can say, if they went to a deputy and said, hey, I'm getting out in 5 days, like I need to find a job.
Absolutely.
We're going to help them.
For sure. Yeah. With or without that position, we'll still have that resource. We'll still connect them with CHG. We'll still connect them with partners in the community, for sure. But just having a position of a deputy that's designed, or not designed, but that position fulfills those needs, the needs aren't there.
So basically what you're saying is the people in jail aren't seeking it. They aren't even using it.
Correct. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
You'd think that, another one. Does Union County have any educational opportunities for inmates?
Yeah. The educational is, again, it's something that folks have to want and need. Any education requests, any furthering education, whatever we can offer, absolutely. There are, do we have teachers or professors come back into the school? Absolutely not. Or back into the jail? No, that's not that. But as far as CTE programs or anything like that, we can facilitate that once they're on the outside as well, just as easy on the inside too. So can you get your high school diploma or your college degree through Union County Jail while you're incarcerated? No, you cannot. And the jail, so the jail, they can only stay there for 364 days. That's the max stay in any type of county jail, and then anything sentenced over to that, then they're sentenced to federal or state prison, if you will. It's outside of our local jail. So we don't see people that are in there for a long time on continuous, so. Yeah, unless they're waiting to hear. Yeah, unless they're waiting to see a judge.
So the next one, I'm assuming this was for her, so you can answer it.
Okay.
I think this was for Talissa, and Sarah wants to know if she gets equal pay.
Absolutely.
I would hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's no discrimination as far as a female deputy versus a male deputy. That. In the workforce, in the work environment, that's a figment of some people's imagination. That just doesn't work. We've been an equal opportunity employer for I can't even tell you for how long, but there's the only I guess if you want to call it special treatment is if you earn it yourself. There's incentive pay for a bachelor's degree. There's incentive pay for certificates throughout your career that you can reach, and those are not only encouraged, but we do our best to facilitate those for any deputy, male or female.
Somebody wanted to know what was the crime you're referring to on the person that got out.
Crimes. This gentleman was a local citizen of ours that victimized people throughout Union County, throughout Umatilla County. And for any misdemeanors, felonies, gun crimes, drug crimes, property crimes, breaking and entering, unlawful use of motorized vehicle. I mean, the list went on and on before he was actually sentenced to that. This wasn't, he got caught with some weed in his pocket and the judge put him in prison. That sounds all fine and dandy to some legislators, but that just doesn't happen. This is a gentleman that our judges knew over the years in front of him, and finally said enough is enough, and you're going to be held accountable for the crimes that you've committed and the people you've victimized. And being that he was a minority, he was approached by our governor's office and asked if he would like an opportunity, and she felt like he would be a good person to be released without talking to any of the local victims, without talking to any local law enforcement, without talking to our local district attorney's office. Just had an interview with him and said, I'm going to release you. Be good. She did make a comment stating that you have a tough row to hoe. Eastern Oregon is one of our most racist places in the state. That came out of our governor's mouth during a Zoom meeting with this gentleman.
Is that public record?
No, it's not. In fact, the Zoom meeting we tried to get, and the Zoom meeting for some reason wasn't recorded. That was reported to me by employees at the facility where this gentleman was at, was reported to his probation officer, which was in turn reported to me.
Wow.
Reached out about that, and obviously, once again, I received no comment from the governor's office, but that's not the first time.
Has that person reoffended?
That I don't know. Hasn't been caught.
Not here. Yeah,
no,
right.
no.
Right. Okay.
I have seen that gentleman in our community, and I truly believe he's trying to make an effort of it. I know he's working. So kudos to him. I really hope that this works out and he can function in society honestly, because if that does work, then it'll totally be, it's on his shoulders whether it works or whether it doesn't work. So.
All right. We're going to answer one more question. Then we're going to probably go back to those pictures because there's just the one question here, and it's a question that we get every month. And it's a problem. How are we addressing the increase in overdoses?
Yeah. Honestly, and unless you're in the circle, unless you're in the know, you have no concept of the amount of overdoses that are in our community.
Dude, I heard that without Narcan, we'd be losing like 40 people a month.
Oh, without Narcan, I can't say the exact number, but I know that Narcan has been the save all to that community of users. There's no fear. There's no consequences anymore. for being in possession of let's just say fentanyl. There's no consequences from law enforcement. There's no consequences from our judicial system. There's no consequences from the state. Now we've taken away the fear of death.
Because of Narcan.
Because of Narcan. We have, again, enabled a problem. Is it saving lives? Yes, absolutely. And I'm thankful that it's saving lives. You know, we started carrying it as officers to save our own lives for when we became in contact. And I made a comment about skin-to-skin contact, and somebody made a comment on Facebook. I waste my time with it, but what I was insinuating on that was when we were issued Narcan as law enforcement officers, it was life-saving for us, because if we're doing a search on someone or we're doing a search in a car and we come across fentanyl, I put my hand in the pocket to somebody's fentanyl and my hand's sweating and it's contracted through me, I'm going to die. I'm going to lay right there because I have no exposure to fentanyl. I have no tolerance for fentanyl. That's what the Narcan was made for us when we carried. Turns out, we're running into homes and we're administering Narcan to folks that are overdosed, and that's what it's turned into. It's frustrating. You know, you have individuals that are laying on the floor that the family members Narcan them 4 or 5 times. You get them on the gurney, the EMTs Narcan them. Get them to the hospital, they're Narcan them. It's saving lives, absolutely, but there's no fear of consequences. We've taken away consequences, and I'm sorry that it's creating a huge problem. It really is.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the hardest part, like, because I'm pretty involved in that community, you know, like with my parents, and the hardest part for me, from looking at it from the outside, is what's the solution? Like, dude, like, it's like,
yeah,
we're losing young people. We're losing people, you know, that have full lives ahead of them. And I'm not anti-Narcan because it does save lives.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I can't agree with you more. It is almost an enabler. Like, it's kind of scary. Like, I've heard it from numerous people that are in the using community that it's like, dude, some people are overdosing. Like, give me the most powerful thing you have,
right? Because
I got Narcan,
right? And that's the problem, and it brings other people into our community. It brings, when somebody overdoses and that gets out into the culture, into the world, users flock to that because they're trying to seek the highest high. They want to get that next level, so they want that fentanyl. They want the car fentanyl that shows up. They want to get that high. They flock to those areas.
That's crazy. Yeah. Another question. This person wants to, this is specific people, and there's an answer for this, I'm sure. Why has Ron Lee and Steve Hamilton been in Union County Jail for 3 years? They're probably awaiting trial, is what I would think.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're waiting trial. And it's been an array from medical delays to witness delays to evidence delays to story changes to attorneys working with other attorneys to maximize the time outside of going to court and being held accountable. It's very frustrating. It has cost Union County taxpayers a tremendous amount of money with his doctor bills. We have a nurse that comes in and specifically takes care of him. It's very, very expensive, and it's very, very frustrating. Again, I will point to another failure in our judicial system. We have a big problem of procrastinating and getting things done, and nothing against our local. It's just the way that our state has gone over the years, and we have a gentleman sitting in jail for 3 years, two gentlemen in jail for 3 years now, when this should have been handled a long time ago.
Katie Heath wants to know what happened to the drug task force.
Drug task force is the dissemination of that as a product of Oregon. State of Oregon decriminalized drugs. In order for our drug task force to work, we have to develop probable cause. In order to develop probable cause, we would have to, I'll just give you a scenario. If a drug task force agent wants to go after the bigger fish, he has to establish a buy. He has to establish a manufacturing position. To get that, we would have confidential informants. Those confidential informants would go to these bigger drug houses or these bigger drug dealers, and they would purchase a amounts of drugs, and we'd come back we would build our evidence. We would write a search warrant. We would take that to the judge. There is not a confidential informant out there anymore because there is no consequences for personal use. So I can't, as a law enforcement officer, say, work for me, work for the county, and we'll look the other way on this charge if you help us out and get this drug dealer off the streets. We don't have the funds locally to pay informants enough money to fill that void of the charges over their head being taken away. So that being said, once methamphetamine, heroin, anything like that became a violation, no longer a crime, we did not have enough. We couldn't develop probable cause to get into a house to go do what the drug task force does to take out these bigger fish, if you will. Yeah. That being said, with one of the more recent overdoses, I took 2 deputies off of patrol and a sergeant and a patrol deputy, and we started our own. I don't want to say our own, but I told them that I was very angry at what took place, and I want some of these dealers off of our streets. And so I enacted a drug task force, if you will, of 2 deputies doing the best they can with their hands as tied as they are. So we do have a drug task force going right now, and we are going after some of our local dealers, some of our distributors, if you will, some of the guys that are going down south. They're buying the fentanyl for real cheap. They're bringing it back and they're selling it to our kids, our local residents. We have put a couple of them in jail with the help of parole and probation, with the help of other agencies, and I will continue to go after these guys until I'm out of money, until I'm out of funds, or until they're all in jail. And yeah, you can take that as a threat if you're watching. As the sheriff of Union County, I am sick and tired of the overdoses in our community. I'm sick and tired of you running around thinking that there's no consequences, because we're going to knock on your door and there's going to be some consequences. I'm done with it. So,
yeah, I mean, for sure. I heard that 4 out of every 10 fentanyl pills coming into the U.S. right now contain a lethal dose.
Lethal to you and I. Yeah, any of them would kill us. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, that's crazy, man. That's just, I don't get it. Anyways, let's pivot. Yeah. I don't have any more questions right here, so let's go back to the pictures of the jail and kind of talk about what's going on there. I mean, obviously that's on hold right now, doing any type of upgrades, but there's still stuff that needs to be addressed in there. So let's move to the next picture. Let's talk about this one a little bit.
For sure. I mean, this was just a display of the misuse of space. There's a washer and dryer in there, and I couldn't function in that in my own home, let alone a jail that's trying to keep things clean and sanitary. We do have a bigger washer and dryer machine downstairs, but it's out of a secure area, so it makes it tough. But just the misuse of space. Back in the day it was good. You could see all the wiring that's been additional. It's just one of those that I think that we could do better with what we have if we have somebody with that mindset.
Yeah. Let me interrupt you real fast. We're going to take about 2 more questions. We're going to keep talking about this, but there's a lot of people watching right now. I'll take 2 more questions before we go, but we're going to go right back to these pictures, and as soon as I see a question pop up, I'll let Cody finish about one of the pictures, and we'll take 2 more questions and get out of here, because Cody's the softball coach at the high school. He's a busy dude, and we run about an hour, so let's move to the next picture. Here we go. Let's look at this one, Cody.
So this is the courtyard. This is the daylight facility where the inmates get to go spend their time. And as you can see, it's not much. It's a concrete box. We have attempted to arrange to get some more equipment out there for them, but then, as far as what we can and can't place out there for safety wise, it inhibits it a lot. But this was a facility that the roof of it, if you will, the ceiling, where the fence used to be was the top of the basketball hoop. It's been extended on upon. There was a escape years and years and years ago, somebody managed to Spider-Man up that wall and climb out and get out on top. So they extended that up a little bit, way before my time. But you can see, the paint's coming off the wall, the concrete's deteriorating, the brick, the cinder block around it is deteriorating. Just stuff that at nobody's fault. It's just age. That I took a picture of that. That's just trying to fix things, trying to enclose some electrical stuff so people can't climb on it, so people can't use it as make it a little more slippery, if you will.
Somebody said they're in jail. They don't need a F in health club.
There's
right. Laws, though.
There is laws that dictate, their amount of times they have out day, what we have to provide to them and what we don't have to provide to them. And trust me, if jail could be in a tent on the, in a facility out in the hot sun and working manual labor, I'm a fan of that. But keep in mind that these are human beings that have just, made maybe some poor choices here and there. There are some repeat offenders that need that, but we got to be civil for sure.
So let's take this last question and then get you out of here.
All right.
Why not have a fundraiser for a new jail?
Oh, man, I would love to have a fundraiser for a new jail.
That's
a lot of money. A lot of money. To be frank, just the company that was chosen through the focus group to do it just for their services about $180,000. To look at a new jail, you're $20, $30, $40, $50,000 for the new facility that something that we need. I know our community has been, Union County had an assessment done, and we need based off our population and our criminal trends, if you will, we need about an 80-bed facility to serve this community. Do I think we can get by with a lot less? Absolutely, for sure. I think an 80-bed facility might be a little too much, and I don't want to have any unused space. But a fundraiser, that'd be great. Anybody wants to start washing cars? Let's do it.
You'd have to wash a lot of cars, man. So, talk about a fundraiser. Let's tell them one more time about these. And
yeah.
What are they? $25. You can go up there. Can you get them on a website anywhere?
Yeah, so you can contact our office. We can mail those to you. We don't have them for sale online right at the moment, just trying to keep things simple and keep less taxing stuff on the administration staff or the office staff. But the front office, you come up to the Sheriff's Office, LeGrand Police Department's the same building there. Stop in. We have them for sale at the front counter. They're $25. We've also got some other swag as far as hoodies, some different mugs and stuff. And what one of our deputies was very passionate about helping out, bringing the cadet program and the reserve program, bring that together. And she came up with this, Deputy Kelly, as far as selling these items. And bottom line, I mean, it just shows your support. We don't make but a couple bucks off of these, and
they're nice, man.
They're really nice
These are
mugs.
nice.
Yeah,
they're solid.
Yeah, and it's just a way to if you support us and want to sway the trend a little bit as far as the nationwide trend, as far as for law enforcement. If you support us, show us. A call, a handshake, a product, whatever that looks like. We can always use your support. We can always use to know that folks care.
Yeah, absolutely. They also probably have some canine stuff up there too.
Yeah, canine Molly stuff, absolutely.
Yep. So yeah, if you're good idea, Lisa. If you're looking for Christmas gifts, you can pile up some Union County Sheriff stuff. Big thank you to Loveland Safe Ride. The things that program is doing is incredible. It keeps, it helps you out too.
Oh, tremendously. I can't tell you how much work that is taken off of our shoulders as far as DUIs, interaction with folks, the extra patrol at rodeo times. Those guys are out there. It's volunteers driving donated vehicles, and they're saving lives. They really are.
I'm going to try to get in as a driver because I've heard that it's quite comical. I think I'd have a great, if I could just say, oh, you're on CCTV, we're going to have an interview right here, let's go.
Dodgy Confessions.
Yeah. Big thank you to Union County Sheriff Cody Bowen. Talissa Baldovino, the corrections deputy that joined us, big thank you to her. She came on, and answered some questions about just her and what she does at the jail. All right, well, Sarah says, support you all the way. My cousin was sheriff for a long time. Let's answer this one more question.
All right.
how can you ask for support when we ask for help with drug problems in the neighborhood and the response is there's nothing we can do?
It's a good question. I believe that the proper answer for that, the truthful answer, is that we in law enforcement share your frustration. We have a huge problem that starts on the other side of our state with our government, our current government that we have, and the laws that have been placed. There's been a lot of manipulative laws put into place with false narratives and really taking advantage of our voters. Measure 110 was one of those that really came across as the state of Oregon presented it as we're going to provide treatment and we're going to decriminalize this. And Sarah, you tell me, has it helped out in your community? Do you have people that are, seeking treatment, wanting to clean themselves up or better their lives? And I can tell you what I see, and that's no. It has done nothing but enable the problem. It's enabled the culture, unfortunately, and we're losing lives. The crime is substantially more. And I'll be honest with you, with even more legislation that's being passed, they're really tying law enforcement's hands as far as how we do our job and how we can answer that call and say, yes, we can help in this matter, because there's a lot of times, which it sounds like you've experienced, is that law enforcement, I don't want to say there's nothing they can do, but there's very limited on what we can and what we can't do anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the same answer every month on the show. It's like the drugs have been decriminalized. It makes it really hard, and there is a drug problem. We all know that. I mean, sure. Cody, I appreciate you.
You bet, man. Thank
Loveland
you.
Safe Ride, Union County Sheriff, Eastern Oregon. I appreciate you guys as well. Till next time, keeping it clear with Cody Bowen. I appreciate you guys. We're out.